Hello, my name is Dominic Underhall-House and welcome to another episode of Moonbreaker. So in today's game I'm going to still play the same list that I played in the last video, but what I'm also going to do is talk through some of the new changes and how that changes the way the game is played, and just give you a bit of a better idea of what to expect in the new version of Moonbreaker. So the list that we're playing, just because it's one that I'm getting used to, I'm sort of getting an understanding of how it works, I've had reasonable success with it, is we've got Deadeye here as a 2-drop, so 2-drops are now much more well, with 1-drops to largely have become 2-drops. So we've got both Deadeye and Nuisance here as our 2-drops. We've got Detonia as a 3-drop. We've got Toxoid as a 3-drop as well. Then we've got Aria over here, Axel Pyro over here, and Furia all as 4-drops, with Peacemaker Balam as a 6, Hit and Run as a 5, and Captivator Zyania as a 7. Zyania is a really powerful unit. If you want to know what any of these guys do, have a look at my previous video. I've talked through most of what they do and give you sort of a good idea about it. But I want to talk about how the game is different because of all the changes. So we're still going to go into rank play, we're going to play the same list and hopefully have a bit of fun. If you're enjoying this, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, head over to Patreon if you really want to, the description down below. Any support you can offer is really appreciated, but for now, I'll see you once we get in the game. Okay, we have found ourselves a game. We're against Miv with 3 Vs, a level 12 Zax player. So we've got the Zax mirror match here. This has reminded me yet again, I've forgotten to change my Zax paint job back to my monochrome one, but let's see what we get. So the main thing I want to talk about is how the difference in the game plays out. I do think first of all the difference is you're starting with a higher amount of leadership. So you start with 2 rather than 1, and I think you're taking out the 1-cost units until we can find a way to make sort of cheaper, less effective ones. I think is actually quite a good idea. I think the units we have at the moment are way too effective. They're way too good at what they do, and I think something needs to be done to sort of turn new to that. So I'm really glad we've moved down to 2-cost units immediately. So we're going to move over here, use our grab disc, and the first thing we're going to do is just pop Deadeye down. So we've got a 31% chance to hit here. I guess we take it. We don't really have any other Cinder or anything. We've made the hit, which is nice. So we have 0% here. We'll just push this away from us a little bit. The less that hits us, the better. Honestly, I wasn't fully expecting to hit that. I thought it most likely was going to miss. But now we can see what they deploy. Okay, well that's immediately a mistake. If our opponent pulls that Cinder Pile towards them, we're going to blow it up and kill them. Well, not kill them, but like deal a bunch of damage for free, basically. Because if we can get multiple units to attack it, we're going to hit like a truck. So, especially if they put something else behind it as well. Yeah, so with Savria there, and not even using Savria's ability, it's almost, it's almost impossible to not think it's a good idea. So, Detonia is going to be our first choice here, because Detonia can actually just throw onto it. So what we want to do is probably use Ozos on ourselves here for Deadeye, to shoot that for 99. We shoot it for 84 here. We miss the 84. That's so awkward. Okay, so now what do we do? I think it's still Detonia, and I think it's probably just over here somewhere a little bit safer. Try and contest this objective slightly, and we're still going to lob explosives onto all of these. That miss is actually really, I mean, quite funny for one thing, but also quite bad for us. Deadeye can probably just hide a little bit. We're going to just keep these points going. Opponent's turn. So the fact they used their resource and didn't have anything left for Savria. Oh, we left Savria in range of. This was very bad for me. I should not have done that. So in terms of sort of how this works as well, one thing you'll notice, obviously, we can now activate abilities and use. No, don't do that. You can use attacks straight away. So it means that different units have got different values. For instance, previously Fury was very much a you play it, you're always going to wait, you're always going to tick it up and get that additional damage, so her first hit was always a big one. Whereas now, that's no longer the case, so you can actually use her more immediately, and waiting is even a bigger benefit because of how much it's going to change moving forwards. Okay, so they've destroyed that. What we're going to do here, so here we're going to immediately pull them off of this, and try and just get a bit of damage done. So this means their mine is going to blow up on themselves, and we can just lob some explosives and try and just get a bit of damage onto their units. We're going to hit Furia here to make sure that gets it. we're not going to be in range to kill Sabria, so we're going to want to find other ways of putting damage onto her. What's the best angle we can get while still being over here? Only 21. So we're going to still Ozos ourselves and go for the 50-50. We got it, which is excellent, because now what we can also do is if we want to stay out of range of this. So we still probably want to go over here. This might actually be in range still, but okay, we're just out, which is great. And then, honestly, I think it's probably just Arya back here. We didn't actually need to come in this angle whatsoever. But we're going to stay Arya here and take a nice easy shot onto Saria. 1 in 10 chance of missing. Okay, we made it all. Honestly, I think we just move here. Okay, so our opponent sort of realised that we're getting too far ahead at that point, and we're going to be winning that game in a very short order. So we made really good use of the ability to basically act immediately there. Division increase, nice. But one of the things that we didn't really look at is the ability to basically use our units to deploy around. So I actually forgot about it in there. I'm going to be honest. I was moving my captain to deploy, but I could have actually just moved Titonia out and gone for that front. So we're going to try and fit in one more game and see if we can see a few more features. And if we manage to get one, then we're going to have a jump back in and try some of the new. Oh, here we go. Try some of the new ways things work. One of which being the deployment itself, so you can now deploy around your own units as well as your captain, but also the way that the enemy units work is that I've seen this, there's a little graph about it, a little picture on the Discord. Basically, the enemy units almost act as like line of sight blocking for where you can deploy, so they can actually use their units to sort of stop it so you can't deploy directly behind someone every time. So, we're against a Gardner Joe this time. We're on a much not smaller map, but a much more sort of open map in the middle, and we're against Dead Dwarf, a level 11 opponent. So we're going to have 3 resources, 3 leadership straight away, and it depends how fast they move, but we may be able to just move up and get in range for a Titonia, but if they don't deploy too far forwards, then we won't, and we're just going to take objectives instead and just deploy Deadeye and take a shot. So I don't think we're going to be quite... Oh yeah, we're going to be able to move here and deploy Deadeye at least, which is nice. Snarling doesn't really accomplish much there. So Snarling now is interesting because everything gets to basically act immediately, so you're not really stopping anything playing a Snarling. I'm interested to see the new Thorn Vines when they grow as well. So we can't actually get a good line of sight onto the Snarling. So we're just going to pop back here. I mean, this is the best shot we got. It stops it growing, I guess. Take it. Okay, we didn't get it, but that's fine. We're going to deploy Deadeye. Let's go with about here, and this time we am going to... My goodness, I can't even speak English. We are going to go for Snarling. And we're actually going to deploy a mine as well, because they currently don't have any movement abilities whatsoever. So we don't mind using our Cinder earlier to make mines, so that we can use them against the opponent. Now, one thing that we hopefully will see soon is how the different deployment mechanics work. Also, you will notice these sort of movement rings are so nice. I really like it. I think it looks so pretty. So, with movement 4, I believe this is like just an idea of how far the movement is. Oh, interesting. They managed to snare us. So we should be able to hit over there. Because of this, we can't actually attack. Can't actually move and deploy over here now, which is interesting. We are probably going to move aggressively with Zax and try and just get the mine into things over here. If there's a world where we can get the mine into multiple things, we will do. If not, it may even just be that we trade a mine for a plant or something along those lines. I'm not really sure where we go. Like, they've got a lot of things out, but then things don't do much. So we're going to probably want an early Axel Pyro or Detonia or something like that, and try and make use of it. Rebuild a Texo. Okay, so they're just going for the buffs. So we need to get more damage basically here. That's what this is telling us. We need to out damage Rebuild a Texo. So interestingly, they hit themselves. So there is a chance we might be able to get a good grab disc here. I'm not convinced, but it's a maybe. Can we get any enemy units on this at the same time? There we go. We can get the captain. Might as well. It takes a few resources off the battlefield, and makes things a little bit more difficult for them.
Beats being in a lab. Huh?
I guess we just shoot the mine down.
Need a moment to take all this in.
Okay, here we go, getting more damage in. And at this point, looking at it, Fire Flame is still 2 actually, so we don't want to do that yet. Titonia, on the other hand, can just... where can we go? I actually think we probably would rather go further forward and just lob our explosive against multiple things. And just, we're trying to basically go for loads of captain damage initially, not for any particular reason other than it's freely available and we want to make good use out of our resources. So there's no reason not to push for captain damage at this point because it's free with their vines, you know, depending on where they move. Oh, we might actually see here some of the sort of deployment prevention if they move up aggressively enough. So they don't have, the thing is they don't really have damage on the battlefield.
What's in my
Texo only heals crew, so we may never be able to kill Snareling, but if that's the case we just push all our damage onto the captain and win through that route and just make sure that we take out anything that heals the captain. So Titonia is now stuck. They can run away if they want, but we can probably grab twist them back into place. What's this? Yeah, you can sort of see there that they can't deploy anywhere they want. It's not completely free. You can't just like drop it straight behind things. So let's have a look at their deployment bubble. Yeah, so you can see here we've sort of got little blocking sections. Okay, so that's Tipu getting big. So we need to find ways of dealing with Tipu. Funny enough, locking him in place is a good one. Now this might be... do we have enough for Peacemaker balance? We don't, do we? We're going to be... Ooh, that's hit us as well. Okay.
Your opponent has a 1-point lead.
So I actually think we need to just go for damage here. I think that's exactly what we have to do. And you know what? I think it might even just be that hit and run is the best way of doing it. Although I'm not sure hit and run actually fits through that gap. So has Zach moved yet? No, not yet. Okay, good. So we're going to hit and run here. We're going to take that hit.
The rival captain's health is at 50%.
We're going to move ourselves up here and try and get this to move away slightly. Back in this direction.
I know the drill.
We should still be in range for this grav disc here. We don't want ourselves involved though, so... In fact, have we shot this yet?
Eyes open, tails
Already
Yeah, we have.
ability.
Okay, so... We'll do this. We would like it if the plants all hit onto Garbacho, which they did, which is perfect.
I was being
I'll
timed.
pop a sleeper mine over here. And because things are scary, we're going to move back here.
Come on, fellas.
So, they are going to be doing well on points. If they can kill our crew, they're in a great spot. But what we're trying to do is just play the game in a different metric. So, you can see here that the instant interaction, the instant activations make a huge difference because everything... You can react to everything your opponent's doing, and that's something that we need to really work on in general. This is fine, because at the moment they don't have anything else to deal with this, and we might have ways of getting everything else in range. If they don't kill our mine, then the mine can come over and deal with them. Oh, they could deploy and maybe like... Because they can deploy a Thornvine here, which will prod us, won't it? Or are they going to go up that route? Again, so anything we can do to keep ourselves pushing this damage out is what we want to do. Because actually, I'm starting to think we're going to start falling behind here. Okay, so now they've got Stitchy. Stitchy is something we can't let live. Stitchy is an actual problem here, because it heals for 5 per turn now. My goodness. I think we're going to lose this game, to clarify. So, I don't think we can outscore Rebuild a Texo. Sorry, out-damage Rebuild a Texo. It's just going to start giving the key units 3 extra health every time. So, in order to try and beat them, we wanted to burst down their captain. But with Stitchy here as well, I don't think we're even going to be able to. I think this is actually going to be a struggle. Okay, so that's going to blow that up.
Your turn. Your opponent has a 2-point lead.
I don't think we can do this. I think we're actually probably out of this game unless we can get a really big sort of Axel Pyro turn maybe. Or we're immobilised, aren't we? So let's shoot there. Of course we miss 87%. Let's see if we can grab disc things somewhere useful.
This thing runs on Hanson.
Okay, so we can't even get I don't think we've got this at all. I think we actually are going to lose this game quite rapidly. Okay, so we got a bit of damage out there. The fact that we didn't Ozos there, I just didn't think it was necessary, but what do we even do? And we could go for Nuisance Toxoid. That
Just look like you're thinking.
if we could get near enough. Can Toxoid get there? No, we can't get Toxoid there.
I've said this
What
before.
if... Okay, here's a question. What if we move over here? We hit reveal Texo.
Stability.
Can we move over here
Cool under pressure.
and get in range to place Toxoid down? We can, but not near enough. So I think we just place Axle Pyro here and accept the burn.
Day for a cookout.
Yeah. And we hit the captain. Of course. So we missed a 70 and 80%
They
shot
have
there.
a 2-point lead.
Our opponent's probably going to win this game, this turn. They can kill our Deadeye here, which is easy. I can't believe they could be down to 8, which puts them up to 13, which does make it more likely that we kill them next turn. So they are very likely to end us. We couldn't get onto Stitchy quick enough, and all our real hope now revolves on finding ways to hide from Tipu and kill Stitchy. And I don't think we can do that because Snarling's going to take... Snarling's going to basically poke, hit and run every turn. So I'm not really sure where we go here. Like, we can't deal 17 damage, we're not far enough ahead. We needed to be focusing more on crew, but with Texo out, Texo seems really good. So I'm going to try and show you the deployment thing next turn as to how it's sort of blocked a little bit, because I keep forgetting to highlight that. And sort of show you, yeah. You can see here how their deployment arc is, because they've got this unit here, but then normally they'd probably be able to go slightly behind us, now they can't. Ooh. Peacemaker Balam. Yep. So we could send our own Balam out, which deals with a lot of this. Funnily enough, our Balam would deal with their Balam, and that might even be worthwhile at this point. Or, here's a thought. If we could Zax here, we might be able to Balam everything.
Open your
And if we can Balam 3 things, maybe we're back in the game. We just need to not lose our crew.
Your turn. Your opponent has a 3-point lead.
So I think I actually have to shoot this first to kill it. Move up here. Grab disc their 3 units together.
Team huddle.
Deploy our Peacemaker Balam. So you can see here, basically, we would be able to go behind these, but we can't because their their visibility is blocking. Basically, it's basically visibility blocked. So we now go over here and spore buff 3 units at once. We're now contesting everything, and I don't think they've got an easy out
Opponent's
to dealing
turn.
with these.
They have a 3-point lead.
It's whether we can stop Tipu in time. Because if we move here and can keep pulling things together and then stunning them all, if we can stun like 3 or 4 units, we've got 3 already. If we can stun like a 4th, we're in a great spot. But we do need more resources here. Because now we're dedicated to spending 2 every single turn on this, and possibly more on Grav Disc as well. So whatever this is, if this is like a poison, if this is Toxoid, we're in so much trouble. What else? It is a Toxoid, yeah, so they're going to go Toxoid. That doesn't work how they want because they don't have Nuisance out yet. So Nuisance could end this.
What's in my tickle trunk?
But this will only put us to 1. So they've actually got 6 units out. So if there's a world where we could deal with these or like pull these into place, we might be able to actually win this. Because now we've got our units coming back as well. So Axel Pyro's back, Hit and Run's back. We might be able to do enough damage here to end this. And maybe just try and keep ourselves safe here. This is a problem. But again, we might be able to deal with it with Spore Puffs. So if we can deal with this with Spore Puffs and kill up here, we're fine. Because that's where the problem lies at the moment. So we probably just need to do something effective over there.
Captain,
Yes, so that all
your
sucks.
health is at 50%. Your turn. Your
Okay.
opponent has a 2-point lead.
So we can bother this. Can we get these together?
My wires
Okay.
feel itchy.
Annoyingly, I actually think we're gonna lose
Moon's talking to me.
specifically to Toxoid. So let's just pull these all in together, make sure we can get as far in as possible.
Got a fire in my heart.
We actually are gonna lose this, aren't we? Yeah, we can still get 3, but we can't get Tipu. So what if we just block Tipu?
Whoops.
Can we do... In fact, I know what we can do.
I'm the Cinder Whisperer.
I mean, this doesn't matter. This just goes away.
Distracted by my
We can do our
visual
Toxoid
reflection.
nuisance, can't we?
I was
So if
being
we
timed.
Toxoid their Toxoid... And then we play nuisance out here.
You have deployed
Hit
5
that.
out of 6 crew on the field.
Okay, we could be okay here. I guess we'll hit that. We might as well. There's no reason not to hit Texo there. So, when they go to do anything,
Opponent's turn.
their
They have
Toxoid is
a
going to blow up.
2-point lead.
And all we now need to do is lock the rest of the game up. So we may be in this. This is the fun little combo with Toxoid and Electric. Is that we can potentially just deal with it.
You know what I mean.
They can kill Toxoid up here. But our Balam's going to live, probably. Depending on what they've got. I mean, they could have something... But they can't deploy anything yet. So the moment they move anything here, they die. So this is going to kill us.
An open mind.
But that's fine. We're not that worried about Toxoid. Oh no, they can heal Toxoid. Of course. That's so clever from our opponent. Yeah. That was
We're in
really
trouble.
well played.
Your opponent needs
Because that
only
meant,
one more
because they
point
can
to
heal
win.
that, they can kill Peacemaker Balam, and now we are probably out of this game. Because I don't see any way that we can put enough out onto this to deal with it. I will have I keep forgetting to show the deployment thing, but I'm going to show a really awesome Captivator Zanya here. That's going to be our thing, is what we're going to go for, is just try and Captivator Zanya everything we possibly can, and just watch it happen. So, I don't think we're going to win this. I didn't think we were for a while. I got hope again, and now I feel like we're out of hope again. This is... Are we going to live here? Oh, we're dead. We lose here. Yeah, there we go. Oh, that's a shame. Zanya was going to be able to absolutely empty that. Well played to our opponent. That was a really, really fun game.
Wickedly
So-
charming.
You can tell that I'm a little bit, like, still getting used to all of this, but I had loads of fun with that. We've had 2 games. That's my first actual ranked loss. So there we go. That was where we are at the moment. We'll have a quick look through, see how we're doing on these. Good chunk of XP here and there as well. Our opponent's list, in case anyone wants to see that. Dead Dwarf, well played. That was a great game. Let's see what's done to our rank. So at the start of this, when I started recording, I was at rank 42. We're rising the ranks, so it's pretty much the rule to check it. We are now 39, so slight improvement. We're getting there. We'll get better. Well, if you enjoyed this, I don't think it was as educational as I hoped it would be. I feel like I was just stumbling over things, stumbling over my words, but hey, I had fun doing it. Hopefully you guys had fun watching it. If you did, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, join us on Patreon. Anything you can do to support the channel is really appreciated. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and most importantly, have a good day.